taking a lot of time. I believe you can all see my screen now. I believe you can see my screen. Somebody should please confirm that using the chat box. All right. You are welcome once again. Good evening. This is Tradersearn Academy, and this is our week 2 of our beginners live stream. And in this week, we'll be talking about lot sizes, pips, and common calculations. Last week, we spoke about terminologies we used in forex trading, and pips, lot size are part of them. We'll be going more in depth of with this lot size and pips because they are very, very vital part of forex trading. They are very important. You have to know how to do some basic things with them, so that you'll be able to execute your trades properly. Now, before we proceed, I would love you guys to pause and read our disclaimer. Please pause and read it and understand it as we move on. All right. Okay. So this is what we'll be covering today. We have already covered this, what is a pip, in last week class, and I will just be doing a recap of it. Then why pips, what's the significance of pips, then how to do basic calculation, which is the major thing that this class is about. How to do major calculation, how to add, how to subtract, how to set stop loss, and all of that. That's what we're doing in this. And we'll be going to lot sizes, types of lot sizes, then how do you plan your trade using lot sizes. These are the things we'll be covering today. Let's get started. All right. In last week class, I already defined what PIP is, but as a recap, I say PIP, which is an acronym for percentage profit, is the unit in which change in price of a currency pair can be measured. Very straightforward. And if Euro USD moves from this price, to this price, okay, that 0.0001 rise in value is what we refer to as 1 pip. Very straightforward. A pip is usually the last decimal place, which is the 4th decimal place of a price quote. Okay, most pairs are usually 4 decimal places. Yes, we have some that are not 4 decimal places. We have Japanese yen. Any currency pair that contains Japanese yen will be measured, will not be having 5 digits after decimal like others. It will be having just 3. We'll get into that. Now, why do you use pip? Okay, if there was no pip, it will be difficult to know how to quantify the price movement when you are merging 2 currency pairs together. It will be very difficult to quantify their margin, to measure their difference. That is why we use pip. Pip is a general measure we use to calculate the difference in the price of a particular currency pair. We use pip to measure it. Without the help of pips, it should not be easy for us to do this. And pips also helps us to trade in smallest possible units. For example, let's say the only change a price can do is just from $1 to $2. That would be very, very hard to trade because between $1 and $2, there are about 10,000 pips in between there. 10,000 pips. 10,000 pips. That means if you are trading with just one lot size, sorry, let's say you are trading with 0.1 mini lots. You are trading with 0.1 mini lots. Just only if the smallest movement is from $1 to $2, there's no pips in between, then this will be, you'll be trading like 10,000 pips per trade. Compulsorily, you must trade this 10,000. You understand this thing as we proceed. You will get it very, very better, which is not going to be easy. So this make it possible for us to be able to trade in smaller amounts, Without the pips, it will be very difficult to just trade from an integer to an integer. It will not be easy because there are a lot of values between $1 and $2. Now, pips makes the measurement of price change more easier. It is like almost similar to the first point. It makes it very, very effective to measure the change and quantify it. Very, very effective. All right, let's move on. Okay, now we want to start on how to do basic calculations. Now, the major calculation we'll be doing in this module is addition and subtraction of pips. This is very essential because it will help us in planning our trades. Yes, this business is all about planning. If you just enter a trade without a plan, you may incur more losses than you are expected to lose or that you are willing to lose, because losses are inevitable in this business. Losses are inevitable. You should just put that in mind. As I said it in our last meetings, that you will lose money. That is 100% sure. 100% sure. There's no how you will do it without losing money. But the aim here is to minimize your your losses as much as possible. Minimize your losses and try and maximize your profits. That's exactly what we are trying to do. We are trying to minimize the loss and maximize the profits. So before you enter a trade, you must plan how much you want to lose and how much you want to make trade. That is all. And you can't do that without knowing how to do this basic calculation of pips. Now, for example, from your risk management plan, you must not risk more than 50%, 50 pips per trade. That means in your trade plan, per trade, you don't want to be losing more than 50%. If you do your analysis and you place a trade and it's going against you by 50%, you want to leave that trade. So you need to know how to calculate pips and know where you put your stop loss. You know where you put your stop loss. So you need to know how to calculate where your stop loss will be placed from your entry point. That's just it. Now, using currency pair 4 decimal places for a start as an example, the fourth number after decimal point is the pip, and that is where you start to calculate. Now you see something like this image here. When you open your chart, you open your MetaTrader, you see something like this: Euro/USD equals to 1.1051. Now, in our first class, we said Euro/USD, which is a currency pair, is what we are buying and selling in Forex market. That is what we are buying and selling in Forex market. So now, if you see something like this, Euro/USD equals to 1.051, already you know that in this pair, this is the base currency and this is the quote currency. And what this simply means is that 1 euro is equals to 1.1051 US dollar. That's what this, if you see expression like this, that is what it means. That is what it means we'll call it quotes. This is the quotes of this, like the price of this currency pair. Euro, 1 euro. Let me make this more. 1 euro. 1 euro is equals to 1.1051. This is exactly what it means when you see something like this. It means that one of this currency is equals to what? Is equals to this amount of the quote currency. And now these guys, this amount you are seeing here can be splitted into pips. Can be splitted into pips. That is why it's easier for everybody to trade, no matter how much your capital is. Now, if you see something like this, that's the fourth number after the decimal. This is decimal, right? This is the first number, this is second number, this is third number. This fourth number after the decimal is what we refer to as what? A pip. Is that taken? That is what we refer to as a pip. This is 1 pip. If the price should increase from 1.1051 to 1.1052, then we'll see it has increased by 1 pip. Is that taken now? So this is the pip. This last number is where we start calculating the pip. It's not as if it's the only one that is a pip. All of them are pips, but this is the smallest one. That is why it is written as PIP, no S, just 1 pip. 1 pip. If you take it with this other guy here, which is 5, then you can see 5-1. That's 51 pips. 51 pips. All right, let's proceed. Okay, now from the image in the previous slide, we have Euro USD to be equal to this value. The last number after the decimal is what we refer to as pip. When you open your Euro USD chart, you will see 5 numbers after the decimal. The 5th number is called pipettes. It's called pipettes. We are not interested in it, so that's why I did not make any reference to it. We are not interested in this pipettes at all. We are not interested in it. Now, and we are not interested in it in this module. So we simply ignore it and assume it's not there at all in our pip calculations. Now see the image below this guy now. Now, let me explain what this image stands for. Okay, this is exactly how you see it when you open your chart or you open your MetaTrader 4, 5, anyone you are using. This is how you see it. You can, some of those applications, we write this 2 as a superscript to be at the top like this. This 2 will be at the top. This 2 here will be at the top of this 8 somewhere here. This way you see it as a superscript. And some will just write it in full like this, like today we write it in full like that. So anyway you see it, just know that that last number is not essential in your pip calculation. You don't need it. You don't need it, or else you are using points. And in this module, we'll not be using points. We'll just stick to using our pip direct. So we don't need it at all. All right, now let me explain it as I've done here. From the image, let's assume that's this image now. Let's assume that the price of GBP USD, that is, let's assume that's the price of GBP USD, that is, GBP USD is equals to 1.15382. Yeah. Now the 5th number after the decimal doesn't count, which is this 2. It's called a pipette, and it has its own importance as well, but we don't need it in this module. We don't need it at all, so that's why I ignore it. Now, just ignore that. Now, this 4th number, which is this 8, it is the ones place, like is units, just is unit of the pip, just is unit of the pip, just is unit. That's why it is referred to as just 8 pips here. 8 pips, just 8 pips. It's just is units of the price change, which is the pip, just 1 unit. Now the third number represent the tenth place. This is the third number, represent what? The tenth, meaning it's representing 30. Any number that is here is in tens. If you have 5 here, then this looks to be 50 pips. If you have 2 here, this looks to be 20 pips. Is that taken? So this is in tens place. Then this is in thousand place, sorry, hundreds place. That means any number we have here is going to be hundreds of that number. Like if you have 7 here, this is going to be 700 pips. If you have 2 here, it's going to be 200 pips. Such that if you have something like this, if you have something like, let's say you have something like 1.151500. So taking just only this will give us 500 pips. That's what this expression here means, to give us 500 pips. So just this number here, it stands for 500 pips. Now, if you are to calculate the amount of pips from this area like this to this place, it's going to be 500 plus 30 plus 8. That's 538 pips. This is 538 pips from here. Now, if you are taking it from me, it's just 38 pips. Then if you are taking just this, is what is 8 pips. I hope you guys are still with me. I hope you guys are still with me. Please, if you can still hear me, if you are still hearing me, see something in the chat box so that I will know you are still with me. If you are still with me, use the chat box, say something, please. All right, thank you, VJ. What's happening? Can you see my screen? Okay, let's proceed. Can you still see my screen? Are you still seeing my screen? Okay, all right. Now let's proceed. And this fixed number is in thousand, So this one is representing 1,000 pips. So if you have to take it from this point, so if you have to take it from this point, so it's going to be from here now to be 1,538 pips. That's the pips and that place. That's why we say that place is in thousand. And finally, this bigger guy, this integer, this whole number is in 10,000 pips. That is why I was saying that between $1 and $2, there are 10,000 pips. There are multiple of 10,000 pips between them. So if there was no pips division like this, and you can only trade price, you can only trade change in price from $1 to $2, then that means you'll be trading 10,000 pips. That's a lot of pips. That's a lot. In fact, in 10 years, price may not make this much movement. In 10 years, price may not make this much movement. So that is why I said in the other slide that it helps us to trade in smaller units. Okay, moving on. All right, now this is a very important aspect of it. For simplicity, to add or subtract pips, bring out the first 4 numbers after the decimal points as whole number. then add any amount of pips you want to add to it, and then put it back in. Okay, let me break this down using still this number. Let's still use this number for example. Out my text. Okay, let's say I have this number 1.15382. That is the value of GBP USD. And after my trade plan, I have it in my plan that I don't want to lose more than 50%. I want to place my stop loss 50% below this entry. I want to place my stop loss 50% below this price. That means if the price should go against me by 50%, by 50 pips, sorry, not percent, 50 pips, I want the system to close it for me automatically. This how I will calculate the pips. I'll bring out these first four numbers here. First four numbers here after decimal. I'll break them out like this. So you can see. Here I will now subtract 50 pips I want to calculate from it. I will subtract 50 pips from it. And if I do that, sorry, I'm going to get sorry, let me bring up the calculator. I will get 1.1538 minus 50. So I will get 144.1488. That's what I will get. 1488. 1488. So that's what I will get. And after doing that, I will now bring this 1488. I'll bring this 1488 back into this place. I'll bring it back into this place. So I will have my final answer to be, 1 point. Remember, 14482. Is that taken? So this means that the price has moved down from 1538 to 14482. From 1.15382 to 1.14482. It has gone down by 50 pips. And on the other hand, if I want to use it to set my target profits, If I want to use it to set my target profits, that means I want to add 50 pips to this number. If I want to do that the same way, if I want to add 50 pips to this number, I'm going to do the same way. Bring out this first 4 digits after decimal, which is this 1538, which is this that I brought out here. Then add 50 to it. So it's going to give you this expression here. 1538 plus 50, and that's going to be what? 1588. Now bring this 1588 to replace this 15382, and you are going to get this. So this is telling you that the price have moved 50% upward from this. I think I've done justice to that. Now this an example I have for the subtraction part of it. We bring out the first 4 numbers after the decimal, which is this, then subtract 150 from it. That's to subtract 150 pips from this number. Is that taken? So 1538 minus 150 is going to give you this. So after getting this, put it back into this place, and you are going to get your new value. I think that's taken. If you have any question, you can use the chat box. If you don't understand anything, please use the chat box so that I will attend to your question. Now, to calculate change in pip of a particular price movement, take this the start price. Okay, let's say let's say Euro USD again. Euro USD again is equals to 1.15381. That's the price of Euro USD. You now move from that price. Let's say move from that price to Euro USD was, let's say now move from that to 1.16381. Yeah, let's say move from this to this, and you want to calculate, you want to know how much movement that, how many pips it has done, like how many pips movement it has done. Very easy. Just bring out this value here. Bring out this value here, which is the start point. Bring out this value, which is the start point. Then minus it from this value here. Remember, you are taking it from the first number after the decimal point to the last number here. So minus this. And that's going to give you something like this. 1538 minus 1638. 1538 minus 163. I think that should be minus 100. So that means the price moved from a lower point to a higher point. Sorry, it should be this way. It should be the old, I think I made a mistake. It should be like this. Yes, it's going to be the new price where it's moved to minus where it was before. That's like old price minus the current price. That's what it will give you 100. That means this USD have grown, have moved up from, it has moved up from 1.15381 to 1.16381 by how many pips now? By 100 pips. That's moved by what? 100 pips. And on the other hand, let's assume it's moved. If it's moved from this and it moved to like, let's see, 2, we move to like 1.12381. To calculate the difference in pip, it's still the same pattern. You just take this guy here. Yes, which is, sorry, you take this one. This is the first, this is the last point it gets to. Last point it gets to minus the initial point. That's the point it started moving. So if you do this, you are going to get minus 200, right? No, 300 rather. Minus 200. That means Euro USD dropped from this price to this price by 300 pips. All these calculations are very, very important. Please, if you have any question, ask, and I will do justice to it. Now, let me read through this that I have here. Let me read through this right up that I have. Say, for simplicity, to add or subtract pips, bring out the first 4 numbers after the decimal point as a whole number. Then add any amount of pips you want to add to it. Then put it back in. I think I've explained that. For example, to add 50 pips to this number, we will simply bring out the first 4 numbers after the decimal point. Bring out first number after the decimal point. Oh God. No. Which is this. Then we add new value of pips we have, and it will give us this. And I already this example too, you can read it up. I already give an illustration of it, and this too, I already give an illustration of that. Moving on. Now let's go to lot size. In simple words, lot size is the volume of currency pair you are trading. Like the volume of that currency pair you are buying or selling. It's just the volume. Lot size is simply the volume of that asset. It may not be currency pair, it may be other assets, maybe stock or and all of that. So it's the amount, the volume of that asset you are buying or selling. Now this determines how much you are betting on each trade. The magnitude of your profit and loss depends on this. Now, there are 3 types of lot sizes, which are standard lot size, mini lot size, and micro lot size. Now, standard lot size is represented by an integer. Now, if you are setting your stop loss, if you are setting your lot size to a whole number, let's say 1.00, what you are using here is a standard lot size. Is that taken? You are using a standard lot size. You can also set it to be 2.00. If you are doing that, you are using what? 2 standard lot size. And like that. Standard lot size is represented by an integer. That is a whole number, e.g. 1.00, 2.00, 3.00, etc. If you are using 3.00, you are using 3 standard lot size. If you open a trade on 1.00 lot size, then you will make $10 profits or loss. You make $10 profits or loss. What does this mean? If the price go in your favor by 1 pip, you'll be making $10 profits. And if it goes against you by 1 pips, you'll be losing $10. And if you use 2 standard lot size, if it goes against you by 1 pip, you'll be in this case now, you'll now be making $20 instead of $2, $10, since it's now 2 pips. Sure you get. And if it is 3, it will now be $30, and so on and so forth. Now, mini lot size is represented by the first decimal place, e.g. 0.10, 0.20, etc. If you open a trade on 0.1 lot size, then you make $1 profits on loss on or loss on 1 pip movement. The same way I explained earlier. If it goes against you by one pip, you lose $1. If it goes in your favor by 1 pips, you make $1. Now, micro lot size is represented by second decimal place, which is 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, etc. Now, if the price and 0.01 represents $0.1. So if you open a trade with 0.01 and it goes in your favor by 1 pip, you'll be making $0.1. There's a fourth lot size they call nano lot size, but we won't be using that. There is no any asset. I've not seen any assets, any currency pair that has nano lot size. Though I know some synthetic assets, like all those likes of volatility 75 and so on and so forth. They use nano pip, but here we will not be using it, so we'll not talk about it at all. All right, okay. How to use this to plan your trade. Now, it will help you in planning your trade, because if you want to lose 30% or you want to make a profit of 30% of your total capital, let's use loss now. You want to lose just 30 pips. Sorry, after doing your calculation, after doing your trade plan, you want to lose only 30 pips. So you want to lose just $3. Yeah, that's the way to do it. You want to lose just $3. You don't want to lose more than $3. And your stop loss is what? Is 30 pips. Your stop loss is 30 pips. Now, this knowledge of this calculation that we've just done can help you to select your lot size. Since you know that 1 mini lot size, that's 0.01 lots. 0.01 lots will give you $0.01. 0.1 $0.1. So you already know this. You just know that if it goes against you by 1 pip and you use 0.01 lot size, if it goes against you by 1 pip, you'll be losing what? $0.1. Now, if it goes against you by 30 pips, how much will you be doing? You just say 30 multiplied by 0.1. That's going to give you what? Exactly $3 you want to lose. You want to risk. So you will know that the right pip to select is 0.01. If it is $6 you want to lose, then you already know that you cannot increase this to what? To 0.02. You will do more of this when we get to risk management in the future. I think it's in the intermediate session. So you will understand how to use this more. I think that will be all. That's all I have for today. If you have any question, suggestion, or something you want me to cover that I didn't cover, please use the chat box and signify it so that we can do it together. I'll stay around for like a minute to take your questions. I hope people are still hearing me. I hope you guys are still with me. Even if you don't have a question, if you are still with me, just say something in the chat box. Okay, no questions from me. All right. Any other person? So at VG, you understand everything I've explained so far, right? Okay, that's nice. All right, that'll be all for tonight. We'll be having intermediate class tomorrow, same time. Please, if you have interest in attending it, it's starting by 8 o'clock. Please be there. We'll see you there tomorrow. Have a wonderful night rest and thanks for your time. Good night.